Hey y'all, welcome to Robyn on the Farm. Today I'm going to be making some whole wheat sandwich bread using my bread machine. Now this is going to be 100% whole wheat, and the great thing about this is that this bread does not turn out too dense. Sometimes bread in the bread machine turns out a little bit too dense, especially when you're using whole wheat. This one doesn't. This one's really great. This one's great for sandwiches. I even made a loaf yesterday, and this morning we used it for some egg sandwiches for breakfast. Oh, they were so good. So this is a really good hearty sandwich bread, and I'm just going to show you how to make it. It's super simple. Now, y'all know that I mill my own flour. I use my Nutri-Mill wheat grinder back there, and I love to do that. I love to grind up fresh flour all the time. Here's some of my hard white winter wheat. But I did get asked a question. Someone asked, if I don't mill my own flour, what can I use? Well, if you go to your grocery store, you can usually find whole wheat flour there. But sometimes it is a little hard to find. So I wanted to show you this kind. This is the only kind that I've tried that is purchased. I always grind up my own flour, and I have for probably 22 years. But I have tried this stuff. My mother-in-law is a super prepared person, and she has her own wheat grinders and wheat and all that, but she also stores some of this. This is Wheat Montana Prairie Gold 100% whole wheat flour. It's white whole wheat. The only ingredient is hard white wheat flour. This stuff is really good. Now, she keeps it on hand, even though she grinds her own just for convenience and just for those emergencies when maybe her power's out and she can't grind any wheat. But this stuff is good. This is what I've used. This is the only kind that I've used that's already been ground. So I just wanted to show y'all that in case you're not grinding your own whole wheat, that you can purchase stuff like this. Especially if you want to try it out before you invest in a wheat grinder and in wheat berries and all that. Maybe it's good to try out some already ground whole wheat flour, use it in your bread machine, use it to make breads, see if you like it, and then you can invest and go all in on the grinders and the berries and all that. But this stuff is really good. I like it just as much as grinding my own whole wheat. So I really recommend this. So I'm gonna use this today instead of my own milled flour, just to show you how it turns out. But if you have your own milled up flour, go ahead and use that. So it's gonna work the same either way. All right, so I'm gonna get started. This is 1 1/4 cups of hot water. It's about 110 degrees. So just pour that right into your bread machine pan. And then this is 2 tablespoons of melted butter. So go ahead and melt that in your microwave, cover it up. So 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Just put that right on in there with the water. And next you want 1/4 cup of honey. So this is 1/4 cup of honey. I sprayed my little measuring cup really good before I put the honey in there, and it just comes out a lot easier. So be sure to spray whatever you're gonna measure it into. This is 1/4 cup of just raw wild honey. But any kind of honey you wanna use, just know that you can taste the honey taste in this wheat bread. So make sure that you like the taste of the honey that you're using. Sometimes honey is a little bit bitter, and so stay away from that for this bread, unless you like that bitter taste in your wheat bread, but I don't, my husband doesn't especially. So I've learned that the hard way. Okay, so to your honey, now you're gonna add your wheat. So like I said, this is Wheat Montana. It is white whole wheat flour. Okay, so this is just the wheat berries already ground up, packaged, and ready for you to use. Now the one thing to keep in mind is this doesn't have a super long shelf life. I'm not sure if this was 6 months or a year, but it doesn't store as well as white flour. It doesn't store as well as having your own wheat berries that will last for 30 plus years. So this is just kind of a good little backup, something that if you buy it, you need to use it right away. For this recipe, you're gonna want 3 3/4 cups of flour, okay? So 3 3/4 cups, just put that right on into your bread pan. Okay, our next ingredient is Vital Wheat gluten. I love using Vital Wheat gluten in my whole wheat breads. I just think it makes the texture so much better. It helps your bread rise. It helps it not be as dense. So I think that Vital Wheat gluten is totally essential in your whole wheat breads. But if you don't have it, you don't have to use it, but it will help. So you may want to look for some of this stuff. So It's a tablespoon of Vital Wheat gluten. There's lots of different brands. You can usually find it at your store or online, but I really like Vital Wheat gluten. Really helps the chew, the texture, the rise for your whole wheat flours. Okay, next we need 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Let's just throw that right on in there, 1.5 teaspoons. And our last ingredient is our yeast. This is my Red Star Active Dry Yeast. This is what I always use, but you can use instant yeast, rapid rise yeast, anything like that. But this is the kind I use. This is the kind I totally recommend. 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. Just throw it on in there. You don't need a well. You can make one if that is how you always make your breads. But those are all of our ingredients. So easy, so simple. Now I am just gonna throw this bread pan into my bread machine. This is my Zojirushi bread machine. Really like this thing. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna select my wheat function. Your bread machine should have a wheat function. If it doesn't, you can just do basic white bread. It's totally fine. This is about a 3-hour cycle. And then I'm just gonna press start, and I'm gonna let my bread machine do all the work for me. It is smart, just a couple minutes in, to check your dough ball. Make sure that it's the right consistency. It's not too wet, not too dry. I'll show it to you in just a few minutes so that you know exactly how your dough should look. Okay, just want to check on my ball of dough. Yep, it's looking good. Let's see. It's tacky, but not too sticky. It's not too dry. There's no flour stuck to the sides. That is about what you want your ball of dough to look like. Now I'm just gonna close the lid and let the bread machine do its thing, and in that amount of time, I will have a beautiful loaf of whole wheat bread ready for my family. So here is the Wheat Montana Prairie Gold Premium 100% whole wheat flour, white whole wheat, light flavor. And I like that it just says hard white wheat flour. And I just wanted to kind of show you how it looks compared to my home ground whole wheat flour. So there it is in there, looks right. And here's mine. So it looks very, very similar to me. So I think it is just about the same. It has the same smell, same texture, same like ground finely. So I like this stuff. I think it's good substitute when I need it. And sometimes when I just don't have any already ground up, this is just convenient just to grab off the shelf. Our 100% whole wheat sandwich bread is ready. Oh, it looks great and it smells so good too. Now I'm just going to take this pat of butter and just spread it all over the crust. It'll give it a really good buttery taste and make it nice and soft. Okay, I'm just going to cut into it. I should let it cool all the way, but it's not. If you let it cool all the way, you'll get an even better crumb, and it'll be easier to slice. But I'm just going to go ahead and do it and show it to you. Look at this. Hopefully you can tell that this is nice, soft, whole wheat bread. It's squishy, it's not too dense, it is perfect for sandwiches. Oh, it's so good. Has a nice light honey taste. We eat a ton of this bread for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, egg and tuna salad, breakfast sandwiches. Oh, you just can't go wrong. So this is what I recommend as a good option if you haven't been able to find any whole wheat flour. And like I said, it's great if you just want to try it out, start baking with it, and see if you like whole wheat flour in your breads and things before you invest in a grinder and berries and all that stuff. So it's nice and convenient. I will put the link to this down in the description. I'll also put the recipe for this 100% whole wheat sandwich bread down in the description so that you can make it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you make this bread. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for being here with me on Robyn on the Farm. I'll see you next time.